and welcome you with BNSN, the stock game right here on ET Now.
I'm Megha Chadha and with me of course Aisha is here, and we're going to be playing the stock game with three experts. This week our experts are Ashwini Gujral, Ashish Kapoor as well as Sandeep Wagle. So let's just quickly first take you through the rules by which we play the game. Now do remember that each of our experts are given a notional amount of 5 lakh rupees each at the start of the week. They would be investing this money in 4 stocks, and at the end of each trading day they would have to churn their portfolio. They would be discarding 2 stocks and buying 2 new counters. Now also, if a particular stop loss or a target is hit during the day, the analyst would have to change his or her stock. Now this goes on from Monday till Friday, and on Friday of course we calculate the total profit or loss that each of our guests make and declare the winner for this game.
So let's quickly introduce the participants that is of this exciting game show on day 4 as we step closer to the mega final, that is tomorrow. Ashish Kapoor, Ashwini Gujral and Sandeep Wagle are our participants today who are going to be fighting for the top slot on BNSN, the stock game. Ashish, let me start off with you first. If you could recap, what was your portfolio yesterday?
Well, yesterday I had, we are long on all the 4 stocks, SRF, and then we had 3 other stocks which we were long on, and out of the stocks we have gained SRF, and we have added Honeywell, Sesa Goa, and Mahindra Satyam today.
Okay, that was Ashish's strategy in day 3, that is his yesterday's portfolio. Let me quickly walk you through what Ashwini Gujral's portfolio looked like in yesterday's game. So he had a sell call coming in, or rather a buy call coming in for Gujarat Fluoro. That was his first stock pick. Marico, a buy, that was his second stock pick as well. Currently quoting at 163. KPIT Cummins as well was a buy for Ashwini. However, Crompton Greaves, the futures that is, was a sell call.
Right, and let's take you through Sandeep's portfolio from day 3. It was a long-only portfolio. In fact, he'd gone long on a Biocon and a Scott, an SRF as well as Varun Industries. So, of course, let's also take you through the calculator play to tell you where our guests stand at the moment. So, if you pull up Ashish Kapoor's calculator for our guest, of course, we're seeing a bit of a pain coming in on an SRF, a Honeywell as well as Mahindra Satyam. So Sesa Goa is doing well for him. It's up about 2.5%. In all, he's making about 11,000 odd rupees. Ashwini Gujral then coming to his portfolio. Gujarat Fluoro, of course, working rather well for him. Currently making him about 3.5 odd %. Patel Engineering, July futures, that shortfall also working rather well. Zydus Wellness and Cadila though giving a bit of pain, but Ashwini currently sitting with a gain of about 75,000 odd on the initial notional amount of 5 lakh rupees. Sandeep Wagle then, Havells July future is giving him a bit of pain, as well as Simplex Infra, but Subex and Voltas, now those 2 calls working rather well for him. Currently losing out about 0.5 odd %, 2,500 odd of losses is what Sandeep is sitting with. But of course, let's not waste any more time and kickstart the game today. And Ashish, I'll begin with you. Your first pick for today, that one is an SRF. You've held on to this from yesterday. Of course, you did give us the rationale yesterday, but it's been up about 20 odd % since June. You're expecting it to do well for you today?
Yeah, I think with the interest coming back in mid caps, this is one stock which, like I explained yesterday, is actually quoting at a very cheap valuation. Despite the run up, I think it's one of the cheapest stocks available. And if you look at the market cap of about 950 crores, it is very cheap, because around 650 crores is the present value of the future possible future inflows they will get out of the carbon credits which they have over the next 3 years. Apart from that, they have a very well established business of nylon tire cord, which is used in all heavy vehicles. Also, they manufacture a number of industrial intermediaries. Altogether, the stock is available at a very cheap valuation on various parameters, whether it's price to earnings, book value, market cap to sales.
Ashish, I'm afraid I'm going to have to hold you there. Biocon, where the numbers hugely disappointed the street. Let's go across the management and listening.
I would particularly like to emphasize the fact that our core businesses, that's manufacturing and research services, have been very strong this quarter. And there is a clarification I'd like to make in terms of our licensing income, because I do realize that market estimates have factored in much larger licensing income. And in this regard, I'd like to say that there is going to be inherent variability in our licensing income recognition, because it is linked to development and regulatory timelines. And for this particular quarter, we have only recognized 14 crores of licensing income as compared to 21 crores of licensing income in the previous year. So this does impact the overall profitability, which has been, of course, ahead of last year. Additionally, we must also look at these numbers in the context of post-Axicorp, and therefore the Axicorp numbers are also not represented in this year's numbers. Having said that, we are seeing a good improvement in margins from around the 21% levels to now 29% levels, which are really reflective of the fact that Biocon's core businesses obviously are higher margin businesses compared to the Axicorp business, which really used to reduce the margin contribution, though it used to contribute significantly to top line. So we are very confident. I think our research services businesses have been particularly strong this quarter. We have grown this business 21% at a top line, and of course in terms of profit contribution, from a sort of break even to nil PAT last year, we have actually delivered 10 crores of profit this quarter. So overall, I think we've had a very good quarter. We remain confident that we will deliver strong performance as we go forward. Licensing income will ramp up because there is a development plan which will see these numbers ramping up. And in terms of our growth drivers, we see our healthcare branded formulations businesses doing extremely well. These are delivering strong growth for us, and of course these are high margin businesses. So we do expect significant improvement through many of these growth drivers. Research services continues to be a good business performance for us, and we remain committed to looking at an IPO over the next 18 to 24 months, as I have been stating in the past. So we seem to be moving towards that direction in a confident manner, given the fact that we are seeing good traction in terms of growth overall. In terms of some of our announcements and highlights that we would like to share with you, we are planning to launch our InsuPen, which is the long-awaited pen for insulin delivery, in the next few months. Our supplies of insulin and glargine to Pfizer will commence this quarter. Fidaxomicin, or the C. difficile product that we have been developing for Optimer has also just been launched in the US market, and it is expected to be launched in the European market later this year. That is also a very important product for us in terms of high margin contribution, since we are the sole global suppliers of this product to Optima. So basically we remain very, very confident in terms of our businesses. We are gaining traction in terms of licensing opportunities. We are in discussion both for oral insulin and our anti-CD6 itolizumab monoclonal antibody program. We have also added BVX20 to this list for licensing discussions, and we will endeavor to realize, if not all, but at least one or two of these opportunities during this fiscal. That's the hope.
on the oral insulin front. Can you give us more details on this? By when do you really expect to finalize a partnership?
Well, to answer your first question, I think as I mentioned, Axicorp is really a top line or was a top line contributor. It actually used to drag down our margins, if you remember, and it was a small contributor to PAT numbers. I don't think that this would impact in any way our performance, and in fact it improves our margins from 21 levels to 29% levels this quarter. We expect to really make good the top line deficit that will be created by Axicorp, even hopefully this fiscal. So I don't believe that going forward Axicorp is really going to be any concern for us in terms of delivering on performance. In terms of our discussions for oral insulin, we have entered into a number of discussions with a number of potential partners. I will not be able to share with you any more than that, but suffice to say that given the concerns that many new anti-diabetic drugs have in the recent past encountered in terms of safety, safety concerns associated with either cardiovascular risk or in recent times with cancer, I believe that we are now getting increasingly well positioned to demonstrate that this is really a very safe drug, given that it's an insulin-based drug, and therefore we are only.
Okay, that's Biocon's Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw talking about how the quarter went by. The stock price, though, is still under pressure. We did see some bit of recovery kick in for Biocon, but again, it's beginning to slacken in trade, currently lower by about almost 3.5%. 350 thereabouts is where Biocon is currently. But back to the stock game, and let's quickly get in Ashwini Gujral as well to talk about his first stock pick for day 4. And Ashwini, you seem to be quite bullish on Gujarat Fluorochemicals. Are you going to revisit your stop losses and targets from yesterday, or are they status quo?
Just for the record, Biocon was listed in 2004. Until today, the return has been 0. And now you want to list another company. Anyway, Gujarat Fluoro can be, we bought it yesterday, but yesterday market later on came down. Overall, it's a company which is continuously hitting new highs, so it has inherent strength. So it generally does well when markets are flat or moving higher. So we continue to hold it with a stop about 415, a target of 445 for the day is possible, but medium term I expect much higher levels for this.
Okay, so for the immediate term, just about 4 rupees off from the target of 445 that Ashwini set out. But in the medium term, like he said, you probably look at higher levels on that one as well. But Havells July Future is your first pick, Sandeep, and you decided to go short on that one today. Unfortunately, the stop loss on that one's already gotten triggered today. But you were expecting some bout of selling to come into this counter.
Yes, Megha, absolutely. In fact, unfortunately, more than that, the target was almost met. The target was 354. I think it has made a low of some 355 or something. But that doesn't matter. It has made a very clear head and shoulders pattern. Yesterday, it has broken down of that. And at 376 level, that was the level where one should have sold. Or even at the current levels, one can be short and sell. And we expect a target of 354. That was for the show, but then I am expecting a target of somewhere around 335 to 330 over the next few trading sessions. So I think this is still an opportunity for traders with a 4 to 5 trading session time horizon.
Ashish, want to bring you in on your second stock. You seem to be fairly bullish on Honeywell Automation. Why is that? Because fundamentally things are not looking all that great for the sector.
Well, that is true because of a possible industrial slowdown, but this company is doing very well, and even right now the projected growth in turnover and profit is fairly smart at about 15%. Within the entire integrated automation and process solutions industry, this company stands out, has a very strong niche, and though keeping in mind the industrial slowdown, the valuation might appear to be a little expensive, but keep in mind that This stock has historically never traded at a low valuation. Even in 2008 financial meltdown, the valuation never came less than 18 times trading, 12 months trailing EPS, and currently it's at 23 times. So it's fairly cheap given its historical valuation. And despite the slowdown, the company is still doing very well, and company has good orders in hand and is the leading player and has a very strong niche in this particular industry. So we expect a target of 2950 in the near term with a stop loss at 2700.
Okay, meantime, Z Enterprise numbers, and you can see a sharp negative downtick coming in on the stock price. The numbers have come in below estimates. Quickly walk you through what the performance has been for Z Enterprises this time around. The PAT has been reported at 130 crores versus a figure of 150. Now that is vis-a-vis our expectation of about 145 thereabouts. So that is largely in line with expectation, but I think the bigger disappointment has really come in terms of the top line figure. 698 crore rupees is what Z has delivered, and the street estimates were throwing a figure of about 750, 760. So it's the top line which has really dented the stock price performance as well, which is why you're seeing a sharp knee-jerk actually kick in for Z Enterprise, which is currently lower by about almost 3.5%.
That's right. In fact, so we can see that reaction coming in on Z Enterprises. But Shwani, going back to the game, your next pick is Zydus Wellness. Now it's a dairy producer. We've seen it decline about almost 18 odd% from the recent 52-week highs. You're expecting further selling on that counter, but unfortunately, the stop loss on that one of about that you set out of 630 has been triggered today.
See, hitting of stop losses is not unfortunate, it's fortunate, because that helps you protect your capital and saves on losses. The stock fell from something like 740. It had gone up sharply from levels of 570 to 740. From 740 in 3 days, it's come back to 600. So basically, it's a weak stock, and chances are it will settle into a range of 540 to about 620. So maybe today, some kind of buying has come, but overall, I would think this is now a weak stock and should find support somewhere around levels of 535, 540.
Yeah, Ashwini, congratulations. In fact, the stock price has hit your target of 580. As well in trade. But let's bring in Sandeep as well on his second stock. And Sandeep, it's interesting to see that you've picked up Voltas, because earlier in the morning as well, a lot of technical analysts were making a comparison as to how, Voltas may be headed the Crompton way. What's your rationale?
Well, Ayesha, my rationale is absolutely the same, and that is what the charts are suggesting. Today morning it has broken a very, very strong support of 153, 154. And I think it is headed down. It's made a low of 148. My target is 147. I think that will be reached in a matter of a few hours. But eventually it could go much, much lower than that. It could go to somewhere around 132, 133 over the next few trading sessions. And definitely it does look weak. It doesn't, the way the weekly pattern is coming out, it does not augur well for the stock. And very, very critical supports are being broken. And as I said earlier, 130 to 132 is where I see the stock in the next week sometime.
Okay, 2 stocks down, 2 more to go on the stock game. Let's quickly stack up how our participants are faring up until now. Let's start off with Ashish's portfolio, and that is what his calls are currently doing. It's disappointing for SRF, Honeywell and Mahindra Satyam as well. Mahindra Satyam, in fact, he's making a huge loss. So down about 2.5% from the levels that he quoted earlier on. Sesa Goa, however, he's making a gain, and the stock is, or rather gain of about almost 3% odd or so. In total, it's a gain of about 11,000 odd that he's seeing. For Ashwini, that's a lot of green that you're seeing on his portfolio. Gujarat Fluoro, he's sitting at a gain of 3%, 1% for Patel Engineering. Cadila is just about a minute gain coming in there, a gain of about almost 2.5%. However, Zydus Wellness, and it's down by about 1.5%. Okay, and that is Sandeep Bagle's portfolio on day 4, and he's making a loss in Simplex Infra, Havels as well, down 1%, Voltas up 3%, and Subex is currently holding up by about 1.5%. So that's a gain coming in on his call on Subex. And in total, you'd have to say it's a little bit of a sticky spot that Sandeep is in because he's making a bit of a loss on his portfolio right now.
Right, so we've discussed pick number 1 and 2, but we'll be taking our viewers through picks number 3 and 4 of all our experts. So don't go anywhere, come back after a very short break. But here's how you can participate on Buy Now Sell Now. You can write into us with all your queries at bnsn@etnow.tv. You could also message us your queries at 58888, and you can also call in and join us live on 022 24837 111. Well, good to have you back with us right here on BNSN, the Stock Game on ET Now. Well, let's go right back to our experts and look at their next picks number 3 and 4. And Ashish, I'd begin with you. Your third pick for the day is Satyam Computers, and you decided to go long on that one with a target about 99. You know, fundamentally, that count is currently trading above the 50-day moving average, and you, of course, have a bullish stance on that one for today. Tell us why.
Well, we quite like the way the company has turned around. And with the new management in place, one can have a very good bullish outlook for this company. The company is fairly large, and despite all the turmoil it went through, it has managed to retain many of its key clients, many of its key employees, as well as hold on to and execute very large, prestigious contracts, including the FIFA World Cup of 2010. With the new management in place and definite signs of turnaround visible in the last results, one can easily expect this stock to move much higher in the coming few quarters. And also keeping in mind that a lot of one of the employees who had left Satyam at the time of the crisis have actually come back, and they have also very recently managed to get back 8 of their key customers. So the company is certainly on a turnaround path, and given the size, it's still at a very significant discount to the other large players, including Infosys, TCS, Wipro, and HCL. So we have a very bullish stance on it, and in a couple of quarters, we expect to have a target of about 150 on this, but for the immediate, the target is about 99.
Okay, that is the third pick coming in from Ashish. But Ashwini, come to you, and it's a short idea this time around. Patel Engineering, is that in tandem with what the rest of the sector fundamentals are indicating?
See, I don't do fundamentals, and that's a bad way to trade because stock movement on any day is not dependent on fundamentals. So, it's a weak stock, plus you have issues in Noida, etc. So we sold this with a stop about 150, target of about 130 is possible here.
Okay, so that's a call coming in on a Patel Engineering, target about 130, stop loss of 150. And Sandeep, your third pick for the day, it's a Simplex Infra, and you decided to go long on that. But unfortunately, the stock continuing that downtrend. In fact, today we've seen that hit a fresh 52-week low.
Well, that's the morning tick is what I would say, though it is down 2.5%. But yesterday's volumes and the breakout that it is given tells me that the up move can go up to somewhere around 320, 325. My target is 326 over the next few days, and I definitely see a 5 to 7% upside move. And I don't believe that the Nifty is going to crack down here and 5500 is broken. I mean, we are at the support level, and from here there is only one way to move, which is up. So though the upside is limited, we are talking of a range of 55 to 56, 56.50. So at this level, I would look at strong stocks moving up. So that is what I have chosen. So I still believe that over the next 2-3 days, Simplex can go to 325, 326.
Okay, the stop loss has just got triggered on Simplex Infra at 298. Ashwini, come to you for your last and final stock for the day, and you're bullish in or rather bearish in Crompton Greaves, and you've recommended a further sell.
That was yesterday's call.
I stand corrected. Cadila is your fourth pick.
Yeah, Cadila again, some kind of downgrade has come in. It's been a stock which has moved up consistently, and when suddenly a stock gaps down and loses 7-8%, generally that uptrend seems to be violated. So it's a good shot with a stop about 905, target of 830. May or may not work today. but overall that uptrend seems to be taking a pause for a bit.
Okay, so that's a call coming in on a Cadilla. But Ashish, your last pick for the day, it's a Go, and you decided to go short on that. We of course have the numbers coming out in the latter half of the day when sales are expected up about 8% odd. The profits though are expected to come under a fair bit of pressure. Is that the reason why you decided to go short on this one?
Yeah, I think the market is in a mood to punish any company which comes out with bad results, and we are expecting bad results from Goa. Also, there has been a spate of bad news on this counter, and to begin with, the government ban on any kind of iron ore exports in March this year, and that was followed with the new mining policy, which has a going to have a very severe impact on Goa. It stands to lose as much as 6% of its earning per share because of the new mining policy. They will have to give royalty to people who have been displaced by their projects. And further, they stand to lose 2 million tons because of the failure to revive mines in Odisha, and another 1 million tons because of Karnataka's ban on iron ore export. So altogether, there are a lot of bad news coming in, and to top it all, there is also the issue of subsidy, oil subsidy, which will come their way because of their stake in Cain. And further, the company has not been very clear on giving their volume projections going ahead. So clearly, it's going to be a stock which will be under pressure. So to hedge the portfolio, I think it's a very safe bet to go short on Goa.
Sandeep, want to bring you in on your last and final pick for the day, Subex, and you have a buy call on that.
Yes, Ayesha. Yesterday it has given a price and a volume breakout, and as I expected, the up move is continuing. Though it is just nearer 2% up, I expect that by tomorrow it should go to 70 to 73, which is my target, and that would be a good 7-8-10% upside.
Okay, so an immediate target about 72 odd. If not today, then by tomorrow we can expect that one to possibly get hit. But on that note, of course, let's take a quick relook at how our guests and their picks are doing at the moment. In fact, so Ashish Kapoor's pick, Honeywell and Mahindra Satyam bringing in a bit of pain currently. Both of them giving in losses about 3 odd %. SRF and Goa though working out quite well. So his portfolio making about 3 odd %, 14 odd thousand in the green. Ashwini Gujral, his Gujarat floor, of course, working rather well for him. Patel Engineering, July futures also, Cadilla as well. On and all, he's making about 15 odd %, 76,000 rupees on the initial amount of 5 lakh rupees. Sandeep Wagle then a fair bit of pain coming in on a Havells July future as well as Simplex Infra. Both of them quite a bit in the red. Voltas and Subex working out quite well for him. But overall on the portfolio, he's currently down about half an odd %, 2,500 rupees in the red. But of course, tomorrow is the last day, so we will wait and watch to see who actually wins this game finally. But on that note, gentlemen, thanks very much for joining in this morning and playing the stock game with us. But of course, time now to take a very quick break on that note, and we will be back and address individual stock queries. In just a bit, we'll be taking up queries on Crompton Greaves, Biocon, as well as LIC Housing Finance. And here's how you can participate on Buy Now, Sell Now, your one-stop shop for all your queries. You can write into us at bnfn@etnow.tv. You could message us at 58888. You could also call in and join us live on 022 2483 7111.